is Strong and Sassy. Welcome to Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock and we're on until 8 o'clock. My name is Animwaa, Anim-Addo, and this is Strong and Sassy. So today we're having a very interesting conversation. Over the past few weeks, we've had different women come in and tell us their amazing stories. And so I thought tonight, how amazing would it be to have all of these amazing women together talking about their greatest lessons from the things that they've been through. So that's what we're doing tonight. So before we get into that, let's do a quick recap of the past few weeks. So let me start with Felicia. So Felicia Edematipo shared her story of how her zeal to have her freedom led to losing all she had. Felicia is an aircraft marshaller at the Ghana Airports Company Limited. She's the Tema West Women's Organizer, NPP, and Greater Accra Regional Women's Organizer. She's aspiring to be that. Do you remember? Yeah, this is her.
One day I went to the airport and then the guide seized everything.
The task force people.
The task force. So I went to my former boss and I told her about it and he said, oh, I can go and sell it at the terminal where we have a terminal where every morning the bus, bring the stuff. So at least when you get there, you can buy. So the first day when you get off the bus, give me Tombra. And I worked so hard. I had 3 girls already, and they stay with me. So we'll do it in the morning, and then we'll come and sell. Then one day I got there, and then our HR manager came right in front of staff who had come. This man blasted me and gave it to me and humiliated me. God, I pray I forgive this man till now. Get away from here. You're not supposed to. And I'm very nice with him. And he's a reverend. That was where everybody got to know that I have issues. Oh, the feeling is so bad. I just broke down, cried. I cried. I was screaming. No, why me? Then everything started coming to me. That was when the suicide thoughts started coming. So I cried and I went to the director HR. He saw me. He was like, what is wrong? Are you okay? I said, no, I'm hungry. I need my job.
That was Felicia's story. Now, I'm sure you remember Dorcas as well. She's the founder of Emerging Minds Foundation and a teacher. Now, she had several issues from breast lumps to fibroids. Dorcas joined us to tell us how she had to keep doing surgeries to save her life.
Honestly, with these health issues, I have tried suicide for like 3 times. And the third one was when I had the last news for the regrowth of the fibroid. My mother was with me then. She had stroke, and so they were with me. And I was like, my mom is sick. I have to support. And then I'm sick. And going for a surgery is not 1,800 cedis expenditure. So how am I going to manage it? I tried suicide, but when I was in the middle of it, I asked myself, so if you die right now, what's going to be the fate of your parents? They are with you. Aren't people going to say they even came here to kill you? So I asked myself a lot of questions, and then I decided to change my mind. So like I said, I have been overly depressed. At every point in time, I get a flashback of a part of my health and it shrinks my joy. And I ask myself, so if there is any God, where is that God? Who is this God that doesn't see my predicaments?
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath. That was Dorcas's story. So I said quietly. And then we had a conversation with Reverend Jennifer Donko. She had been in an abusive relationship for 6 years after living on the streets of Tema Station right after her uncle tried to sexually abuse her and eventually threw her out. Jennifer told us her story from when she moved in to stay with her uncle to how she has now become the founder of the Young Ministers Ministries and the Don't Give Up Foundation. This is Jennifer.
I was supposed to pound fufu, but I realized that he was coming with his friends and they were like 6. I can't pound it alone. So I did the soup and I sent him a message that, when he comes with his friends, then they can help me to pound the fufu. And he got angry. He said I've disgraced him in front of his friends. I can't pound fufu for 6 people. I can, but not for 6 people. So when he came, he just behaved like nothing is happening. He told a friend, soup is there, but the cassava was no good. And when they left, he took belt.
Wow.
I think I have one of the mark on my leg. He used a laptop charger to, beat me up, and I got a mark there. It was serious.
A laptop charger?
Yeah, because he was not getting anything to beat me. He took belt and I held it. I held the belt and he went in for a laptop charger.
That was the story of Reverend Jennifer Donko. And then we moved to Ethel Ajololo, CEO of Junior Shapers Africa. Now, she had an amazing story that she shared with us on why she decided to be a boys' doctor. She also threw a little more light on what led her to depression.
We got the opportunity to attend a wedding in America, and so over there I had forgotten about work, and at that time I had gotten a new role at Aviation Social Center as their marketing manager, so the demands on the job was high. So when I went out there, I was a bit relaxed, and by the time we came back, within 2 months I was pregnant. Okay. So I kind of agreed with what the doctor said, that I was really under pressure, thinking about it and all that. So it was happy news, baby came, we named her Keisha, which means great joy, because okay. At last. And then when I had the baby, your first time mother, that experience, so I had a very painful episiotomy. So I found it difficult to recover. So I was like, afraid of even going near my husband because I was scared. When I thought I'd recovered and I went close to my husband, I got pregnant again. Of course, I was still nurturing a baby, and 4 months into the baby, I was pregnant again. And so my depression started. I managed it. It was very, tiring and all that. Anyway, I gave birth to the second one. And around the second one, I was looking for consultancy jobs to do, and I was lucky to get the Spelling Bee Eugenia Teaching Medicine, gave me an opportunity to work freelance for her. I thank her very much. And whilst working with her, she knew I had to already. A third one, boom. Whenever I had a little break anymore, it just happened.
Whenever I had a little break anymore, it just happened. Oh gosh, the past few weeks we have cried, we've laughed, we felt hopeful. It's been an amazing, amazing time telling these stories, and I'm so honored that tonight these beautiful women are joining us once again. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for being here. So let me just do a quick introduction. So we have Ethel Ajololo Mafo. She's the CEO for Junior Shapers Africa. She's here with us. We have Dorcas Yamensa. She's a teacher. We have Reverend Dr. Jennifer Donko, founder of Young Ministers Ministries and Don't Give Up, a motivational foundation. And we have Madame Felicia Atibo, who is running for the Greater Accra Regional Women's Organizer for the NPP. I got that right?
Yeah, well, we already had the election.
Oh, you had the elections?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it go?
Yeah, I lost by 64 votes.
Oh, 64.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But it's okay.
We live to fight another day.
Yes.
And now we've added more to the story. How did you feel though? I mean, going through all of that and then finally getting to the end and the results.
The campaign was really fun, and this is my first time of going for regional elections, and I enjoyed it. But the elections is either you win or lose. So from the beginning, you have to psych your mind that I'm not going in to lose. But if I lose, I mean, that is how the game is. And so I was okay with it, and I was happy with the results too, because it means I'm being loved anyway.
Yes.
And I made a lot of impact, and it was good for me. Yeah.
So will you do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, that's my passion.
How many years until the next
4 years.
So you have 4 years.
Yes, I have 4 years.
Get towards that. Yeah. Okay. Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. And Gloria just joined us. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Hi. Are you okay? You're good? Yes. Okay. Well, welcome and thank you for being here. Okay, so let me get straight into it. Let me start with you, Ethel. I did say today that we're going to be talking about moving forward, what that has looked like, but also your greatest lessons that you've learned from the things that you've been through. So I kind of want to go around the table. So instead of taking maybe all your 3 or all your 5, I'll take one, and then I'll take one from Dorcas, and then I'll take one, and then I'll kind of let you guys, comment on, other people's lessons and how you can relate and how you feel about it. So please don't wait for me to ask you a question. I mean, just feel free to, kind of just get into the conversation. So let's start with you, Ethel. What you feel has been one of your greatest lessons so far?
First of all, hi to all the Joy listeners, and we thank them for all the feedback they gave us during our time here, and thank you for the opportunity. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is to make good use of my waiting period. I had to spend a painful waiting period, spend time waiting for what was next. And so during that time, I occupied myself with doing entrepreneurial jobs. I very much wanted to go into the career that I desired. That was PR and marketing. That was what I went to school for. But when I had the babies and, there was that waiting period where I had to take care of the children, I decided to put myself into good use. I started a business. I educated myself. I didn't waste the time. And so when I was ready for my purpose, all those knowledge I had acquired became useful. So it's a big lesson that I've learned, and I wish to impart to other women going through the situation. You find yourself at a waiting moment whereby you have children, or there's a period in your life that you just have to wait. And waiting is a stage in life. Yeah. There's a point in life that you just have to wait for the next stage, but always make sure that you add value to yourself in your waiting moment. And I think it served a good purpose in what I have become. Yes.
Okay, the waiting period.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Dorcas, do you want to tell us what one of your greatest lessons was?
Yes, I have learned to be more kind to people, because each and every one of us has their own share of life experiences. And so if I meet people, I'm extra kind. I try my best to not be harsh to people, because everybody has their own share of life's battles. And so from work to town to wherever I find myself, I try as much as possible to not question people's opinions so much, to not question people's behaviors too much, because people's experiences exposes them to come up with even new behaviors. And so I'm much more kinder when I meet people, and then I don't question their opinions. I don't question their characters. Yeah.
So that's one of your greatest takeaways,
yes.
To be kinder to people.
Sure.
I'm curious though, how easy or how difficult is it for you especially to be kind to people when, with your story, there's always something. Every time you have some sort of breathing space, and there's something, then you breathe a little, then there's something. And I mean, I know from our conversation how much frustration you feel sometimes, how much pain physically even you're in. So how do you find it in yourself to not take out all those negative feelings on the people that are around you?
Yes, because of my experiences, sometimes I speak to myself. There are times when I get home, or I find my quiet time, I make a brief retrospection of myself, and then I try to relate how I feel to other people, because some people say that there are other people who are going through much bigger battles than I am going through. And so if someone is going through a bigger battle, then it means that they have bigger negative reactions as to how they relate to people sometimes. So if I find myself in this situation, then I need to remind myself at every point in time, if I am about reacting negatively, to remind myself that there are other people who are even a step or 2 steps ahead of what you are going through.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Reverend, what about you?
I've learned that the past
doesn't really need me than the present. So I have to let go of everything and value what is ahead of me. So that have made me to love people more, give out to people, especially the people on the street. I have developed so much love for them, knowing how it feels like not to have. So for me, all that I've learned is the future really needs me more than the past.
So for you, it's been letting go of the
Yes,
past.
and you should be able, I've learned that if you voice out, there is a solution than keeping quiet. So me voicing out have really opened me up to talk to people and to share my problems and to let people also come out from the situation I was also going through. So that is what I have learned so far.
Okay, I want to ask you something about letting go of the past. A few days ago, I was reminded of the scripture that says, "Remember not the former things of old.
Sure.
For behold, I do a new thing." And it sounds very romantic, when you say things like, "Oh, the future needs me," but the past is ingrained in who we are. The things that we've been through, they are with us. They are in our hearts, they are in our muscles, they're in our minds. So what have you done practically for somebody who is listening, who is struggling with the things that they've gone through? What practically have you done to enable you to be able to say that, okay, I've moved on from the past and I'm looking forward instead of looking behind?
I always say, like, you can't take medicine for someone who is sick. So if you don't forgive, it's just like you are taking medicine for someone who is sick. At the end of the day, you are going to hurt yourself. So think about the future. Think about the person that I don't want to forgive. Is the person ready, or is the person, if the person doesn't forgive me, will things be okay? Well, the person doesn't forgive you, but when you forgive the person, you become free. There is a burden that will be taken out from you. And you should always know that as human and as life goes on, people will hurt you. But if you learn to let go, you walk with a free conscience mind.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm sure there's people listening who will keep that in mind and try to push forward with forgiveness, especially.
Yes.
Auntie Felicia, what's about you?
What I've learned in life is the problems will come, but the issue is how you face the problems. The Bible says, "No weapon that fashion against you shall prosper." It didn't say there will not be any weapon. There is weapon, but it won't fashion against you. So you face the problem, how you react to the problem. You have issues, then you start throwing pity parties because I have issues. So that is one thing I have really, really learned, that the problems will come, but how do you face the problems? And that is what I've learned.
Okay, so problems will come. Like Kiddy says, problems no they finish. So, so they'll come, but how do we face them? I'm going to come to you, Auntie Gloria, in a second, but Auntie Gloria joined us a little bit late. So I'd like to just take a little bit of her story just to remind you. This is Auntie Gloria.
So the biopsy came. After 3 days, we were discharged because they said it would take 2 weeks to a month for the results to
come back.
And they said they normally send it to SA, but there is also a faster way with standard board, and so that one was more costly, but if we want, we could speed it up. So when the biopsy came, my husband and I were called, and that was when we were told that they have confirmed that it's what you call osteosarcoma, that's bone cancer, and it's very aggressive. They don't even know what could happen the following week. So we have to work on it. It has to be immediate. So we asked what could be done. And they said for here in Ghana, they don't have a PET scan. That will show where exactly it is. Then they can just cut off that part. But the tumor was on the thigh. So they said they didn't know the extent to which it is. So they won't know where to cut it. So we needed to go out. So we wanted to know where we could go. So they mentioned the US, UK, and they mentioned India. So immediately, for me, I went blank because I couldn't place it.
And still, we have no PET scan in Ghana. So I don't know what that means. A friend of mine who's been going through some of these similar issues had to travel to get a PET scan. So we still don't have that. But Tante Gloria, before I come to your greatest lessons, congratulations. I saw on Facebook the past few days you had one of your giveaways, and you were giving away Pediasure and nappies, and so thank you for all the work that you do for the families who are facing cancer. And we're very grateful to you. So, do you want to share with us what's one of your greatest lessons from losing Nicole?
Good evening to your listeners, and thank you for having me once again. The lesson I've learned is that no matter how hard you are hit, no matter how your heart is broken because of a loss, especially of a child, it's very difficult. But one thing that you should know is that when you sleep, you not die out of that pain. And if you don't die, then it means that it's another opportunity for you to use that storm to do better. So for me, when it happened, I didn't even know I could get over it, because I could count the number of months, days in a month that even throughout the year, I was just in tears most of the time. But when I found out that I could actually find strength from helping others, that was what I picked up, and then I worked with it, and it's been good. It has helped all of us to adjust to the situation. It has also helped us to know through helping people that there's strength in giving our best to others.
Before you got to the point where you could take the pain and turn it into helping people, by doing something good, how did you get through those dark days?
We just went through it one day at a time. There were days that you will feel good, you would think that it's almost over, and then another day is it feels like you have lost everything. So as the days come, when it's good, we try as much as possible to make use of it. And every day I tried harder to do better, because there was a time I didn't want to go to work. I tried severally to go back to work, and at a point I was able to do that. And there were a lot of things I just couldn't do. Going to church as well, it was difficult, because I thought that God has I don't know whether to use the word disappointed, but I felt disappointed because I'm a Christian. So
Yeah.
I thought that if these are His promises for me, then how did that happen? So we just went through it one day at a time. And I think when the time was right, things turned around.
Turned around. Okay. So that's our first round of lessons. I hope if you're listening, you have a pen and a paper, you have your book, because it's easy for us to kind of summarize and give these lessons, but these lessons have been born out of tears. So they're worth a lot. So let's do our second round of lessons. So coming back to you, Ethel.
So, second lesson is that even in your brokenness, God can make very good use of you to impact others or to bless others. My story was that just around that time where I was feeling low and not being able to get back into shape, get back into corporate work the way I wanted, God just dropped an idea in my head. God told me, there could be other women like you going through this. And so at that moment, I founded a club of women, moms going through child nurturing, or moms who had just lost their jobs and were looking for opportunities to transition to another job after childbirth. And so I started this club called Ghana Mompreneurs. So I have a page I call Ethel the Mompreneur, because I put those people together to inspire them. So I opened Ghana Mompreneurs Club, which I later changed the name to All Moms in Leadership, because I realized it was not just entrepreneurs that were interested in my group. And so this group has impacted over 100 women since we started in 2017. And so for me, the lesson here was that you may think that you've gotten to your lowest point in life, but I can't have a saying that obinya wayempo, whatever you think you don't have, someone needs it. And I realized that I was very impactful to these women. I was always connecting resource persons to come and help these women, and people were inviting me for seminars. Church groups were inviting me to come and talk to their women, and then I started gaining my confidence. So in your brokenness, you are still useful.
Wow. In your brokenness, you are still useful. That's a great one there. Thank you so much for that. Dorcas, do you have a second one for us?
Yes, please. I've also learned that in as much as we go through all that we have been through, it is very important to give back to people who cannot pay you back. And so I had this few group of friends who believed in me, and then we formed an NGO called Merging Might Foundation. And because I'm a teacher, I found myself around renovating and painting schools, deprived schools in villages. And so we have been doing this for the past 5 years, and it's been amazing. I feel very fulfilled when we hand over the work to the school, and then the children come excited. Yeah, so I have come to believe that giving back to people who cannot actually give back to you give some sort of fulfillment in your healing process.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting because Ethel has like an NGO foundation. Dorcas has an NGO foundation. Jennifer has an NGO foundation. Aunt Felicia, I'm not sure if you do.
I do.
Okay, Aunt Felicia has an NGO foundation, and Gloria has an NGO foundation. So it seems to be a running thread that women who have gone through indescribable pain somehow. It becomes a thing. So let's talk about the NGO foundation thing for a second. I mean, like, what is it about the NGO foundation situation that you would assume that it's for people who've gone through a lot, you just want to heal, be in your corner, live your nice, quiet life, and just move on. So what's with the NGO foundation thing? Any of you can start.
I think that is a medium to help people, and that is where you could also raise funds and let people know what you are about. I have this foundation, Let Single Parents Smile. I'm a single mom, and whatever I go through, I've been through, other women are also going through, and I believe that we need to help them. So this is where we could help other women who are going through problems, and you know that when somebody is going to certain problems, it's only you who will understand, others will not. So when they come and listen to you, they call others to, or you are being invited, as she said. So I think that is one of the main reasons why I decided to do Let Single Parents Smile, because one of the reasons I realized that when it comes to Christmas, it's about widows, it's about street kids, it's about orphans. But as single parents, we don't really pay attention because, hey, you probably have gone to mess up and you're a single parent, a man or a woman. But I would understand that language where he has not got anything, to feed the children with. I would understand that language when he's on the street selling, and I would tell her that, look, it's okay to sell on the street and then go and feed your children. You've not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things why, for me, I decided to do this Let Single Parents Smile.
Jennifer, do you find that is that your reason as well?
Yes, but not fully.
Okay.
Mine is about motivational stuff. My situation, my dad have money, but at the end of the day, my life was messed up. And we have people on the street who just need a bit of motivation for their life to go on. So I reach out to them. I have a group called Don't Give Up Motivational Family, and I have Don't Give Up Motivational Foundation. So we visit people on the street, we encourage them, we share some of the stories with them. That some started from the street and they are who they are today. So it's all about encouraging people, motivating them. Some have ideas, some are very talented. So I came across this and I said, okay, why won't I use this opportunity to encourage the young ones to not look at the situation they are right now, but to focus on the unknown future, which is yet to be born. And that is how come I got the NGO.
That's interesting. Gloria, I mean, I know for you, with your NGO, it's really been very, very close to your heart. How much of a role has that played in your healing?
It has really done a lot. Actually, I didn't start the foundation myself. It was my daughter Nicole that started it. So for her, at the beginning, all she said was that she wanted to help the others because, as I said earlier on, when we got to Kolebu, there were some of the kids that couldn't pay for treatment, for consultation, not even treatment, the initial diagnosis and all that. So for her, she thought that we could pay for everybody. So when she realized we couldn't pay, I suggested to her that if we cannot afford to pay for everybody who cannot pay, but then we could get people to help us to pay for those people. That was the first time she thought of it. And then we went to India for treatment, and then when they see her going through the chemotherapy, people sort of spoke to her, especially those who are yet to start, because there's that fear that something could go wrong when you start chemo.
Yeah.
So if she's able to go through, then even the adults who spoke to her, they said if she was only 11, if she could go through, then they can go through. So even when she was not going through treatment, she wanted to come to the hospital and visit those who were there. So that was how she bore it. So when she died, we didn't want to do it again because we thought that we were giving that much and yet she died. So, but then we realized that the support was more for the foundation to stay alive. So then we started to follow what she wanted us to do. She wanted actually to launch her book. So when the book was launched, we raised funds for the foundation work, and so that was how we continued. So with us, at a point, it was like all our energy went into that. So there was no time to cry.
Yeah.
There was no time to think of where is Nicole. Anytime that you felt sad, we could easily say that, oh, let's plan our next visit. Where are we going to? How are we raising funds for our next program? And we did a lot with Kolebu. We did a playroom, and all of us were involved in the planning. So then it helped us to get
with
busy.
the healing. Yeah.
So it really helped us. And then knowing what people are going through, because we've been through it, it made it easier for us to reach out to the mothers, especially because I understand that on a daily basis you have to pay something. At times you wake up thinking that you're just going to run a test, which is maybe 100 cedis. You get there, and then after the test they tell you that the HB is so low, you need blood, you need to do another test, and then every day you have to pay for something. But those who are there, if they ask for money from those who are out there, they say you every day you're asking for money, because they don't understand that you could stay at the hospital for 6 months, for 8 months, treating one sickness.
Yeah.
So then we understand. And then we also know that all your money goes into paying all this. So then you don't have food. And so if you don't have food to your child, it's like that. She will need not just food, but nutrition because of the chemo. So there is that side that we do give them pediatric supplements. At times, they are given that as prescription, and it's 13 cedis per bottle, and they are asked to maybe take one a day.
That's a lot.
Some of them will buy the one and will have to ration it.
Yeah.
Because they will take some and then take some later. So we thought that we could just buy a lot and keep it there. So with the doctor, if you are prescribing, it's not like you are giving them what do you call it, the prescription
to go
you
and buy.
are just giving it to them so they can use it. So I would say that it's like everything. The foundation is like everything when it comes to the healing, because I'm not the only person involved. The kids are involved. Their friends are involved. And Nicole's friends, even though they are in school, you realize that they keep calling to know. On her birthday, they do contribution and still send
to the foundation.
They have Akosombo International. They have their platform, though they've completed school. they still send money. So you know that there's you cannot stop.
It's their
Because
way of
it's for
keeping her alive.
Everybody is trying to keep her dream alive.
Yeah, alive.
So that's where we get our strength
Your
from.
strength,
What I would say is that there's always something special in the storm. If only we can wipe our tears to look. Then
Wow.
we can see.
There's always something special in the storm. If only we can wipe our eyes and look. Thank you so much for that, Gloria. I know how difficult it is for you to have this conversation, and we really appreciate you. Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're on Jennifer. She's going to tell us another one of the greatest lessons she's learned from everything that she's gone through. This is Strong and Sassy. Stay tuned in.
If confidence is what you yearn for, then feel the freshness with Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
Smile all the way because Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection has fluoride mixed with eucalyptus mint that prevents cavities.
For your best oral care needs, use Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection that deeply cleans even the stubbornest plague, fighting against germ and leaving your mouth with fresh breath. So tell a friend to tell another friend that
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection is in town.
Grab yours now and keep brushing.
And keep those smiles alive because Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection is what you need.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection is your effective toothpaste. This advert is FDA approved.
It's 7:43 and this is Strong and Sassy here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name's Animwaa, Anim-Addo, and we're on for the next 17 minutes. And today we're kind of doing a round the table conversation with all of our wonderful ladies who joined us for our My Stories season. And today we're doing greatest lessons from the things that we've been through. So let me come to you, Jennifer. It was your turn just before we went on break. So tell us another one of your greatest lessons.
I've learned that it is good to leave an abusive relationship or marriage, and do not hold on to the things that you think, if these are the reason why I have to stay. Don't look at the aspect of I love him or I love it, the person will change. But looking at the future and looking at the things that are happening, it is better you walk away so fast. Have the courage to walk out of any abusive relationship or marriage, because you might not live to survive. So I've learned that walking away is very, very, very good and very, very important.
Okay. Yes. Well, thank you for that. Auntie Felicia.
What I've learned is in life, whether you like it or not, the sun will set and the sun will rise, whether your problems. So if you have problems and you think that because you have problems the whole day, nothing will move, forget it. So you have to move along. There will definitely be a way. I like watching cartoons because whenever Tom and Jerry, you see a room, there is no wall. And Tom will be chasing Jerry or whoever, but at the end of the day, there will be a way. And then the other one will run away. So I see that is how life is. Whether I like it or not, there will be some small window somewhere. And then just be focused. As she said, just wipe that tears. And then see that small hole that you could pass through. And you'll be fine. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Auntie Gloria, do you have another one for us?
I would add that we need each other, and you don't need to know the person, you don't need to be blood related to the person to help the person. Because in our situation, there was a time that we found ourselves in a no man's land where we didn't know anybody, and there were times I needed help carrying Nicole because she couldn't use her leg, and she was 12 then, so it was difficult. But I had help. I had people we didn't know from anywhere supporting us. Financially too, we were hard up at a point, and we had help from people we don't even know them. And it's like they will send the money to you, and then they don't even want you to say thank you. They don't want you to know them, to even send a number or anything for you to thank.
Yeah.
So we need each other. And so if you have the chance, if you are able to help, you should help.
If you can help,
you should help. Because you don't know when you need the same help. At times it's not about money, but it could be your time. It could be your counsel. It could be what you have and the person doesn't have. At times it's just a word of encouragement. Some of the people we have supported, they just needed a way out, because it's like you are told that you lose your child.
Yeah.
And so you are it's like you are mad about it, and you don't even know who to open up to. And so they will need someone to talk to. And there are others that they've been told that your child has cancer and may not survive it. And so through all that, you will need somebody. Somebody may need money. So if you can help, you should be able to help. Because you don't know when you'll be hit. Because for us growing up, there was no way we could think that
this is going to happen,
anywhere close to us.
Wow. So if you can help. Okay, I think we have time for another round of lessons. Yeah, just one more round. Before we do that, though, a quick message from our friends. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
If confidence is what you yearn for, then feel the freshness with Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
Smile all the way, because Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection has fluoride mixed with eucalyptus mint that prevents cavities.
For your best oral care needs, use Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection that deeply cleans even the stubbornest plague, fighting against germ and leaving your mouth with fresh breath. So tell a friend to tell another friend that
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection is in town.
Grab yours now and keep brushing.
And keep those smiles alive, because Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection is what you need.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection is your effective toothpaste.
This advert is FDA approved.
All right, welcome back. This is still Strong and Sassy, and we're going to our last round of lessons. We have about 12 minutes, so we're going to try and do that within that time. So, Ethel, back to you. What's your very last lesson for us this evening?
My very last lesson is that finding purpose has been more fulfilling to me than, finding a career or a job. When you find your purpose, you find what you are on earth for. Like me finding my purpose as a boys advocate and making sure that boys are, nurtured well, their silent struggles are addressed so that they can be better men in our society. It gave me so much happiness. Finding my purpose brought me closer to God, because you see, the idea was divine. It wasn't mine. I have 3 daughters. What am I doing?
I was just going to say that that's the
Exactly.
most extraordinary thing about your purpose, is that you have 3 girls and you're a boy's daughter.
So it's divine. So every day I find myself calling on God. God, what do I do next? Every day I'm planning content for boys. I'm drafting programs. I have a 5-year plan of things I want to do for boys. And I think that if I were just in my normal career, I wouldn't have been this creative, this, leading an advocacy like this. And so finding purpose for me has been very fulfilling. It's brought me closer to God. And I would advise every young woman out there, as much as possible, find your purpose before you find your partner. Because marriage
that's a whole show.
Marriage is tough. Childbearing is tough. The journey of a woman, transitioning into marriage, childbearing and all that is tough. When you have your purpose, there will be storms, like my sisters have said, but that purpose makes you just fulfilled.
Yeah.
You live every day, God directing you as to where to go. There'll be challenges, yes, but it all adds up to the beauty of life. So finding purpose has been very fulfilling for me as a human being, and I thank God for it.
Well, thank you so much for that. Dorcas, do you have your last lesson for us?
Yes. I have learned that I need to move on, and move on completely. Yes, they are scarce, and then there are times you wake up and then they are so glaring, but then if you get stuck on them, there is no way you are going to move on. And so there are things that I know as a woman I may not enjoy, And that I tell myself that even if I wouldn't be able to enjoy a part of this as a woman, there are a lot more that women enjoy that I can enjoy. And so let's say if a doctor tells me, oh, because of 1 to 3 you may not be able to have a child, there are a lot of things that can make me happy other than having a child. And I have come to see that there are people who decide even from childhood that I wouldn't have a child, and they are happy. So if I'll not be able to have a child, doesn't end my life. I need to explore other places that will make me a fulfilled person. So I have decided to actually move on. If it comes, fine. I am not going to put pressure on myself. And so I want to encourage any woman out there who has been told by a doctor that they might have infertility issues, that there's more life beyond having a child.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Jennifer, your last one.
I've learned that throughout these issues that I went through in this abusive relationship, that you should have vision and you should place value on yourself. And you can achieve anything you can achieve. Nothing is too late. For mistakes, they will happen. You can't erase them. But it's up to you to move forward. Work hard. Write down your goals. Achieve whatever you want to achieve. And you will get there. Through the grace, the strength, and the faith of God, you will get there. And I want to encourage all women who are going through abusive marriage or relationship. Marriage is not about love. You can get love outside marriage. You can get love outside relationship. And be willing to open up to people, because the day you speak out will be the day that you have a solution to your problem.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Auntie Felicia, your last one.
What I would say is surround yourself with people who give you positive vibes, not people who give you negative vibes. People, when you're doing something, they will encourage you. When you have ideas, they will encourage you. Not people who are always talking negatives. Every time, it kills your soul. I mean, so surround yourself with people who give you positive yes, vibes. And also focus on yourself till the world focus on you. I believe that if we are not focused on ourselves in our darkest moment to work things out, we will not be sitting here. I mean, who knows me? But when in that your darkest moment, focus on yourself. The tears is okay. It's good to cry. Get into your, we've cried. Some of us are crying was like, that's a clap. I mean, you sit there and then you are crying. You cry, yes, but at the end of the day, get out of it. Focus on yourself. Do something for yourself. And by the time you realize, the whole world is watching you talking. The whole world is listening to you because you focused on yourself. And now it's time for the world to focus on you. So focus on yourself till the world focus on you.
And positive vibes only.
And positive vibes.
Positive vibes. Auntie Gloria, would you finish us off?
Yes, I would say that there's a reason why you went through what you went through. So for me, we'll be able to continue with the Westwamo Child Cancer Foundation. And that is, I would say, the light at the end of the tunnel for us. And so no matter what you are going through, at times it's so difficult you think that you will not survive it. But I want to assure you that it will definitely be a day that you look back and tell your story. So when you're able to find yourself, when you're able to find that little star at the end of the tunnel, that's what will drive you to achieve more. That's that passion is what will give you the energy to pull through all that you've been through, and definitely that day will come. And that's for me to say that there'll be better days than
ahead,
whatever you are going through right now.
Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much once again, Felicia, Jennifer, Dorcas, Ethel, and Gloria, for sharing your stories with us. My audience and I have really, really enjoyed these last few weeks. You know, there have been so many tears, so much laughter. But I think the most important thing that we've walked away with is hope. that it can get better, one step at a time, one day at a time. So thank you so much for your time, for opening up, for reliving the pain, and going through all of this. I want you to know that your stories have changed people's lives. We've had so much feedback. I mean, we've trended, it's been so amazing these last few weeks, but your stories have changed people's lives. And I've always said that sometimes the things that we go through, we don't go through for ourselves, we go through for other people, so that they can have someone to look up to. So thank you guys so much. And this is one of my favorite songs. This is Me from The Greatest Showman. And I'm ending the show with this song tonight. It's for all of you. From the whole team, the whole of multimedia, to you guys. Thank you so much. We love you, and God bless you abundantly. This has been Strong and Sassy. We'll be back next week at 7 o'clock. Stay tuned in.
I am not a stranger to the dark.